Hi guys, welcome to Counterpoints. My name is Connor, and today I'm ecstatic to be breaking down Pariah Nexus. I think this is some of the best work on Warhammer TV, with awesome lore details, modeling, animation, and violence. This episode is brought to you by Geologie with an insane 70% off offer, and HawkinsCoLeather.com with a product giveaway, so I strongly recommend watching the advertisements. Now, just because in the grim dark future of the 40th millennium there is only war, doesn't mean that in the enlightened, modern, sophisticated second millennium that you need to smell like Nurgle's rot. Geologie can help with that by giving you the very best skincare products for men. A simple online quiz dials in the products for your needs. The bottles are labeled in an easy step-by-step process, and the active ingredients are marked right there on the bottle so you know what you're putting on your body. These products were designed by a talented team of dermatologists, have won over 25 consumer awards, and have thousands of 5-star reviews. As soon as you pop open a bottle, you'll know the difference. Often men's products are labeled with ideas evocative of weird concepts or fighter aircraft, and they're heavily scented to cover up man stink. Geologie's products are simple, professional, and more importantly, effective. You don't feel like you're burning off the top layer of your skin with an exterminatus and then rubbing perfume into the wounds like tyrannic acid. Instead, it feels like you're gently cleansing your body and you'll smell and feel fantastic. I'm not one for a crazy skincare routine, so having Geologie take out the guesswork, offer pricing for a great monthly subscription, and to see results, particularly in my face, has been awesome. I've been using all the products, but the eye cream in particular has made my skin feel more tight, full, and clean, which is good because Papa Nurgle is doing his best to drag me down. If you want to take advantage of this incredible offer, scan the QR code on your screen or use Counterpoint70 at checkout for a 70% off your purchase. Not just that, but the more products you add to the package, the better the discount. And you can customize your subscription month to month to make sure that you're getting the products you need when you need them. HawkinsCoLeather.com has a mission, and that mission is to make sure that your wallet doesn't suck. Everything these days is fake, synthetic, digital, and soulless, but not the products from Hawkins & Company. They beautifully design and hand-stitch their products in a variety of designs to match your aesthetic. I personally have the humble, traditional, but beautiful bifold, but they also make trucker and biker-style wallets to match your needs. The leather is sourced from one of America's last tanneries, and you can feel the difference. Go to HawkinsCoLeather.com and use coupon code COUNTERPOINTS for 15% off, or comment down below Hawkins & Company, and I will pick one commenter to receive our giveaway celebrating 50,000 subscribers. Hawkins & Company is giving away this beautiful Counterpoints-inspired wallet, an American-made pocket knife, keychain, and real gold and silver. That's right, I'm going to pay you to simply help me in the algorithm and to check out HawkinsCoLeather.com. Let's get into the violence.
Awaken primary functions from base protocols. Obeisance Illuminaceras, Master of Matter, Lord of Santikura, this bearer of the Death Mark acknowledges you. Watch. Witness. Exemplars of a verminous breed. Survivors of the war to claim this world, and the failed attempts at reinforcement. This wheel of souls acknowledges the mark you have placed upon these targets. Souls, you will refrain from such unscientific terminology in my presence.
This one understands.
Process these identities. Their continued survival renders them anomalous. Anomalies will not be tolerated at this stage of my experimentation.
This one questions the necessity of its awakening. The functioning protocols of the Death Mark are matters of nuance. If you wish for these creatures' destruction, you may leave it to those of the Destroyer type.
The Destroyers are creatures of uncomplicated circuitry, blind to any purpose beyond the satiation of their appetites. In this matter, precision is required.
This one understands.
Do you indeed? I wonder. You exhibit a nominal degree of aberrancy.
I exist and abide by the protocols of the Death Mark.
So it seems. Deploy into the battle space. Engage the survivors. Rectify the anomaly of their continued existence.
This one understands.
There is a final consideration. A potential hazard. This battle space is populated by the detritus of my recent scientific nonfeasance. You may cleanse or ignore these failures. I cannot.
This one understands.
We are greeted by Illuminor Ceres, a brilliant mad scientist of the Necron race. The Necrons were once biological bipedal aliens of a spacefaring triumvirate society called the Necron Tier. The Necron Tier were doomed to short lives and painful cancerous growths because of the radiation of their solar system. The Necron Tier achieved immortality through a process known as biotransference, a solution brought into reality by Illuminor Ceres. They burned away their bodies and mortal souls, but transferred their consciousnesses into immortal living metal bodies, becoming the Necrons. The Necrons hunted an ancient race known as the Old Ones into extinction, enslaved star gods known as the Catan to be their playthings, and fought a galactic conflict known as the War in Heaven against the Eldar and the Krorks. For more on this awesome history, check out my Factions video in the lore playlist. In order to avoid endless war, the Necrons went into hibernation for 60 million years, but now awake to reclaim the galaxy. Some Necrons wish to return to their mortal forms, believing the process of biotransference to be a curse, to live without a soul, and to be robbed of physical sensation. Other Necrons wish to continue their evolution and believe the Necron metal form to merely be a stepping stone on their path to godhood. Illuminor Ceres wants to evolve into godhood, which incentivizes his horrific experimentation on the living. The panicked and restrained guardsman glows with the infiltration of nanoscarabs. Necrons command a wide variety of technologies, and among them are tiny robotic creatures capable of infiltrating living beings and either commanding, studying, or ripping apart their fleshy forms. Whatever study Illuminor Ceres is undertaking, it's clear the process is excruciating, which is fine by Ceres, as he prefers to work on living subjects, to study the secrets of life, and views his subjects as inferior creatures unworthy of moral consideration. Ceres is viewed as a brilliant lunatic among the elite of the Necron race, as he trades his expertise to improve armor and weapons of Necron warriors in exchange for living specimens of conquered planets. Ceres' sense of superiority is demonstrated in his interaction with the Death Mark. Death Marks are the sniper assassins of the Necron race, capable of teleporting vast distances and staying interminably still for the perfect shot. They are prohibited from hunting Necron nobility, but are used to take out the elite of inferior races, weighing the souls of their opponents, looking for a noble enemy. While Necron tier souls may have been consumed by the biotransference process, Necrons have retained quirks of personality from their original consciousnesses. Not only that, but their mechanical forms have given them new quirks. Aristocratic Necrons are able to run personality, thought, analytic, and martial subroutines with unlimited processing power, allowing them to joke, ponder, analyze, and fight all at the same time as if they were operating with multiple brains. While this makes Necrons wildly intelligent and advanced, some of their kind have driven themselves insane by endlessly dividing their attention into thought loops and fantasies. This process, made possible by the mechanical form of the Necron and the godlike power granted by immortality, fractures and destroys the once mortal minds meant to control it all. Memories and personalities are more obvious in Necron nobility, while Necron warriors are humorless slaves of destruction, and canoptic constructs are little more than unconscious but complex digital creatures. The questioning of orders and mentioning of souls by the Deathmark are viewed as infuriating and aberrant quirks by Illuminor Saris, but since the Deathmark's competence is not in question, he is dispatched to hunt his prey.
Whatever that thing is, we can take it. If we cut west, come around the side.
The guardsmen fleeing the Deathmark are a few of the surviving Imperial remnant on the planet of Paradise. The Necrons activated blackstone pylons that have negated the power of the warp, effectively cutting off the Nephilim sector from the Immaterium. A side effect of this activation is that living creatures within range are separated from their souls, and therefore feel an impending sense of doom, lethargy, and despair. Out of the millions of Imperial Guard dispatched into the sector of Necron space, many simply stopped following orders, laid down, and died. What was common in the survivors is that they had an unyielding faith in the God Emperor of mankind, allowing them to operate in spite of this bleak environment. While these guardsmen might be the motivated and faithful, they are little match against the Deathmark. The Deathmark takes out all three easily with its synaptic disintegrator, an energy weapon that fires a beam that disrupts the molecules particularly found in brain synapses and neural connections. This effectively burns out, disrupts, and tears apart the target's ability to function, resulting in either instant death or a pain-racked, thoughtless, slow crawl into the grave. I am appreciative of the motivated guardsman thinking he can flank the Deathmark, but by the time he has formed a plan, his friends are dead and the Deathmark teleported behind him. The guardsman begs for a moment more of life before being cut down by the Necron assassin. Our Astartes brother does fare better, and I really love the attention to detail. While scanning for potential targets, he steps to cover immediately upon spotting a threat. While ceramite armor can stop most autogun and las rifle shots, Necron weapons can punch right through Space Marine armor. This means our sergeant, noted by his blood-red helmet, has the experience to not think himself invulnerable and puts as much material between him and an incoming shot as possible. Our sergeant's helmet reads several locations of potential ambush, and he is able to identify a threat and put a single bolt round in a window before an incoming shot nearly takes him. After a moment's analysis behind cover, he breaks and puts suppressing fire into the target area, even as he picks up the teleportation signal of the Necron Deathmark changing position. His helmet reads to him more areas of potential ambush before his sensors pick up the enemy behind him. Narrowly missed by another shot, the Marine advances into the ambush, emptying his magazine before almost taking the Deathmark with his chainsword. This was a lure, though, as the Deathmark is able to reposition himself again, putting a synaptic disintegrator beam into his back and skull. This sequence is fantastic, as we see a Space Marine as they should be. fearless, ever-advancing, and powerful. He is able to bring to bear his strength, speed, and technology against the foe, and does so intelligently, able to survive in a deadly scenario longer than any of his mortal counterparts. The Deathmark is the exact kind of threat Astartes are designed for, and as a weigher of souls, I hope the Deathmark finds this sergeant impressive. But the Space Marine is alone, and as such is only able to survive longer, but not actually be victorious. The Thunderhawk crash has a few interesting details, including the scored gauntlet of one of our Marines gripping his jump seat, showing that for the fearlessness of the Astartes, he is certainly feeling something. One of our Marines has the vambrace of a veteran, being similar to that worn by the Stern Guard or Blade Guard veterans of the Space Marines. This isn't a neophyte warrior, but instead a veteran of many campaigns. A single Marine is ejected by an explosion before the Thunderhawk crashes into the ground. A sister of the Order of Our Martyred Lady prays to the Emperor for strength, patience, and mercy. A quick zoom out reveals that she is the only survivor on a pitched battlefield. She is greeted but what I believe to be a figment of her imagination brought on by loneliness or Necron tomfoolery. If you want more on Sisters of Battle, check out the second to last episode of Hell's Reach, which is a fantastic series on its own. A purple-eyed female guardsman from Cadia sarcastically mocks and chides the sister for her prayers. Sisters of Battle are notoriously zealous and faithful, and if a real guardsman were to speak to a sister in such a way, it would end in a broken jaw, if not summary execution. Sisters of Battle are the armed wing of the church, but also serve as the chamber militant of the Ordo Hereticus, meaning that a vital part of their job is rooting out blasphemy against the Imperium of Man and putting those heretics to flame. The duo see the doomed Thunderhawk and set off for the crash site.
The fault wasn't theirs.
No? Was it yours?
No. Not mine nor my sister's.
Whose then?
My mother died on the line. That's what they told me. I was 10 years old. An officer came. He wore a uniform that looked just like yours. He smelled of boot polish and incense, though, not blood. He handed me a set of ID tags, Militarum stamped. They weren't hers. They were too clean. No blood, no shrapnel marks. But I still kept them.
And then what?
The Schola Progenium. Prayers. Tempering. Then the order. Belonging. A purpose. Faith.
Look around, sister. Where has your faith led you? One of the last to draw breath in a land of the dead.
So be it. It is better to die for the Emperor
Than live for yourself. That's how the saying goes, right? So tell me, sister, who does bear the blame for the death of this world?
The truth is, this world didn't have to die. We could have saved it had the Defenders fought harder.
You blame the dead.
If their faith had held true, we would have won the war. Their weakness cost us this precious world.
You sound like a zealot.
No, you don't understand. This is holy ground. Worth more than mere mortality. Worth more than life.
Worth more than 1,000 lives? 10,000?
Yes! Yes!
all across the Imperium. Tens of millions of lives are lost every second. Boom, boom, boom. Massacre, cataclysm, genocide. What makes this world so special? That some ancient saint consecrated the ground.
I speak as a daughter of the Emperor, blessed with righteousness. This is a shrine world, a beacon of faith, a light in the dark. It is sacred. It matters.
Life matters, sister. Not cathedrals, not blessed ground or holy water. Without the faithful, you have no faith.
Be quiet!
I'm just trying to make you see it's not
No!
always...
Be quiet! There's something out there.
One of ours.
Soldier? Are you hurt? Can you understand me?
Shell shock? Maybe. Or some injury we can't see.
All is well, soldier. Come. Come with me. I am a daughter of our martyred lady. I am the flame that reaps the Emperor's blade. I am his holy vessel. I am her sacred wrath.
What you are, sister, is surrounded.
Faith is my shield. So let it be done.
What now?
The guardsman continues to harangue the sister as she makes her way to the crash site, asking who is to blame for the death of this world and why is it even important to begin with. I suspect this isn't an actual guardsman and is instead a narrative manifestation of the gloom brought on by the Necron pylons, or maybe even the ghost of our sister's mother. The ghost is Cadian. The planet of Cadia was a fortress world destroyed during the 13th Black Crusade. This killed many sisters of the Order of Our Martyred Lady and many guardsmen from that world. Our sister states that after her mother was killed, a man wearing Cadian fatigues delivered her the clean, freshly printed dog tags. The morbid implication being that her mother's dog tags were never recovered and new ones had to be printed to give to her next of kin. The Schola Progenium is a school for war orphans, so our sister was shipped off and schooled and adopted into the order. She blames the Defenders for having insufficient faith to defend the world, which is derided by the Guardsmen since the Imperium fails its citizens all the time to mass slaughter. It's not the temples or the holy ground that need defending, she argues, but the people. The sister approaches a lone guardsman, kicking off some of the best violence in the Warhammer universe since Astartes. Just to speculate on the cause of the Necron zombies, I believe they are infected with mind shackle scarabs. These are small, robotic bugs capable of infiltrating a target's brain and staying near the stem and cerebral connections until there's a need for a Necron to command the alien target. At a Necron noble's command, an alien host can be overridden and used in battle or espionage as needed. This was used repeatedly by Trajan the Infinite in the book The Infinite and the Divine to throw Eldar, Mechanicus, and Imperial forces against his enemies and to conduct an intelligence-gathering mission on a human-held world. Those enslaved by mind shackle scarabs may find themselves bewildered or even angered by the battle they're taking part in, but just as they attempt to understand their situation, the mind shackle scarabs will provide a subconscious instinct and impulse to ignore Necron allies and to attack targeted enemies. Mind shackle scarabs depicted in the book series are able to direct their hosts at full strength, and so I believe these are an iteration of Necron control with a simple subroutine to hunt down fellow humans. This was after they were discarded by Illuminor Ceres as dead ends for his experiments, with that process leaving them bewildered, starved, and fair. I really respect the martial arts, marksmanship skills, and physiological targeting used. Firstly, our sister tries to calm the soldier before determining she is in danger and delivers a stab under the chin that no doubt pierced the guardsman's skull. If a spinal column is separated from a punctured brain, even a mind shackle scarab can't command a dead host. Then our sister uses her power armor to deliver a devastating knee strike that gives her some distance between her and her felled opponent. This is a beautiful application of the technology available to her because, after all, if your armor gives you a speed and strength boost, what's the point of not using it? Next, our sister closes her helmet to make sure that no more fiends can scratch at her eyes and goes to work with her bolt gun. For reference, the Astartes and Sororitas both use bolter shells in 75 caliber for their main infantry weapons, which is equivalent to the size of a 12-gauge shotgun slug. Difference being that a bolt round fires out, has a rocket assist, and a delayed explosion once it impacts with its target. This knockdown power is needed against the menacing Xenos and chaos-fueled threats of the grimdark future, but can be admittedly overkill against humans. The sister boasts impressive split times, meaning she moves quickly from target to target with trained precision. When she is out of ammunition and distance to her targets, she makes those foolish enough to approach her pay dearly. Her first stab goes right into the carotid artery of the intended target before backhanding an aggressor and dodging a clumsy attack. While being gripped, she rotates out and back to gain enough distance to deliver a power-armored kick to the kneecap, driving a leg backwards at an impossible angle. This is followed by a headbutt from a power-armored helm and several collarbone stabs guaranteed to sever major blood vessels. This is followed by a reload and another series of impressive split times, moving from target to target and blasting them apart with high-explosive delayed penetration bolts. I love the modeling, I love the fluidity, I love the use of real martial arts moves, I love the use of real marksmanship skills, and I love that all the sister's attacks were targeted at locations on her opponents meant to maximize lethality. This is not some random animation of close quarters fighting, but a thoughtful, carefully considered, carefully rendered sequence that shines with each viewing. I genuinely love it. Our sister, as exhausted as her waning armor, takes to a knee for prayer and is answered by an angel of death from the Salamanders chapter. I frankly cannot wait for the next episode. If you like this breakdown, like, share, and subscribe. If you want to help support the channel, become a member or join our Patreon. Ring the bell so you know whenever we drop fresh content. Check out the other playlists on the channel. We have tons of content to go through. If you want to meet fellow 40k nerds and dork out on the channel and universe, or if you're a political debate nerd, join our Discord link below. Support our sponsors Geologie and HawkinsColeather.com, also known as Hawkins & Company, and pick up your skincare package or wallet today. Comment down below, and if you can't think of anything to say, write comment for the comment gods. I will salute you in real life with an Aquila, and I will type in an 07 in the comment section. I appreciate you catching the next one. Until the end.